All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Of course, on 1010XL's Facebook page as well, and my personal Facebook page. Also, you can always check that out. But great to be here. Great to be alive. I'm in the 1010XL studios. Every Tuesday I come in and do this podcast. And then, of course, on Fridays after the Jaguars Today show, I jump right back in the studios from 12 to 12:30 and bang out another one. Today's show brought to you by the Carpet Man, of course. The commercial's out, I am told. So I haven't seen it on TV yet. Of course, I've seen it digitally because it was sent to me that way. But nonetheless, keep a lookout for that. And listen, if you're in the market for gosh darn, I just broke my my readers. What are you doing? Yep, there you go. See that? See what happens on a podcast. See what happens. That's all right. We'll be able to see with them, even with one leg, as you call it. The other leg's gone. But yeah, the LVP, the luxury vinyl planking. You can't get it anywhere else for the cost that you'll get it at the Carpet Man. And that's not a tagline. That's the truth. So if you're into the market for that really cool, that plank, that flooring, it's pretty awesome. And he's got a ton of it. Go check out the Carpet Man. And I'm also, today's show brought to you by Board 30. It's my wife's business down in Ponte Vedra Beach. Her and her friend and partner, Rachel, do a phenomenal job training a ton of women, all their trainers. I think they have 5-6 trainers now. They're always looking for additional ones, always looking for additional clients, and they've got a ton. They're getting, all their classes getting pretty packed up, man. It's pretty cool. You know what? They moved to a new location right before COVID, or right after COVID started, or no, right before COVID started, dealt with all that, then moved to another location, and they are totally kicking butt, and it's great to see. Hard work pays off. Okay, I didn't really watch the game last night. I watched a little bit of it. I was like, that's, I think 20-12. UConn went up 20-12. I think that's when I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna get in bed and see what else is on TV.
I was like 10 minutes into the game too.
Yeah, this is how crazy. When I don't care what's on the screen, I go to sleep. When I lay in bed at night, nothing keeps me up. Right. I have a little sound machine that plays like Hard Rain, which, man, turn that on, forget about it, it's over. But I turn on, my wife's out hanging out with our youngest because she gets home from dance. I said goodnight to them and was lying in bed. And I can't find anything on TV. My wife makes fun of me because I spend most of my time watching previews of these things that are on either Netflix or whatever, and I never pick one. I'm like, nah. She's like, I swear you love doing this more than anything. And I'll be doing it for a while. I don't know if that happens to you out there, but it happens to me a lot. I'm like, I can't find anything. So same thing last night. You know what I put on? Pulp Fiction. You know when I was asleep? About 3 minutes in. My wife she came in and she's like, oh my gosh, you sound asleep in Pulp Fiction. And it was I looked up. It was when they were in the apartments.
Yeah.
Getting ready to blast the kids. Anyway, nonetheless, I only watched a portion, but congrats to UConn. You know, I don't know. How do you feel about Graham? I'll ask you. You know, I don't know. I guess, look, I love the stories. I would have loved FAU to be in there, of course, or Miami for that. I do love the stories, but I don't know. I also love when the blue chips are going at it, 1 versus 2, the big school. I love a Cinderella. Don't get me wrong. I think it's phenomenal, but I don't know. Sometimes I felt like this year it wasn't as star-studded, almost like, and no disrespect to any of the golfers. You guys are phenomenal, but almost like the players, not as star-studded as it normally is. I kind of felt that way about the men's tournament. And we'll get into the ladies in just a second, but the men's tournament nonetheless.
Because so as
UConn's blue chip, sorry to cut you off. UConn's blue chip, I get
big time.
They're big time.
Big time blue chip.
Yeah.
As you know, I am a Florida Gator alum.
Right.
So if Florida basketball is ever good, which these days is pretty rare, I'm always rooting for them, of course. And then also a bunch of my family has ties to
North Carolina,
the University of North Carolina.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Because I root for a blue blood,
right?
That kind of means I naturally hate a lot of the other blue bloods.
Yep.
So I don't. If Carolina or Florida are not making a run, I prefer it to be the FAUs and the San Diego States because that means that they probably beat Duke and Indiana or the those types of schools.
Hard to win those games, man. I don't want to take anything away from them. I don't know. I just was like, I don't know.
But what I will give you for sure in that context is I think college basketball right now needs more stars.
Yeah.
They need more guys that throw out the tournament. They need more it
was just a down year for the big dudes, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just, for whatever, maybe it's a cyclical thing. Who knows?
It's been weird.
Didn't have as much pomp.
It's been weird the last few years. Like, some of the best players in college basketball have been on teams that have not made great runs.
Right.
Like, the best player in the entire country probably all year was Brandon Miller for Alabama.
Right.
And they got upset in the Sweet 16 as a 1 seed.
Yeah, they did, right. Yeah.
Oscar Shibwe for Kentucky was also
funny
one of
when
the best
Alabama's
guys.
a top-ranked basketball team. It
is weird.
It seems hollow.
It's a weird.
You know what I mean? Because it's not football.
It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. You know, I
didn't know y'all knew this sport
existed. I don't believe that you're there. I don't believe it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's like Boston College's baseball team's number 9 in the country right now. That doesn't feel real at all, but they've been on a tear.
Right.
BC's not known for being great in baseball on occasion. But that's why you play the game. All right, we'll get into the ladies in just a minute. I do want to get through some Jaguar news. Cameron Fleming, DJ Fluker, both visiting, or just Cameron, I think, visiting the Jags. Look, these are two monster right tackles. Now, Fluker's changed his body. Have you seen his transformation? He looks good, man. He looks good. I don't know if he can still play ball at a high level, but, man, does he look good. He's in good shape right now. Of course, he's a mammoth. So what is that? I know most people probably think, well, that's for depth. I feel like it. I feel like that position's up for grabs. I don't think Walker Little is the lock to be our right tackle. I think he's penciled in to be the right tackle, but when they're looking, because you could draft for depth. You could, and maybe what if they're better? What if they're better? And you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, well, then they're going to play. If they're better than the guys that we have in front of them, then they're going to play. So I find it very interesting. Hey, you're kicking the tires, whatever. I don't think any offers have been made. But look, when I see that two big tackles coming in like that play right for the most part, to me that says they're still looking to maybe upgrade Walker Little, which is a little surprising to me. I thought Walker did fine. I know he's more on the left side. I'd like to see him more on the right. I mean, I don't think you're moving Cam. Cam's the man at left tackle. He was the best lineman before he got hurt. He'll be the best one when they, you could say Scherf maybe, but he was having a great year, Cam Robinson was before the injury. So
I do think you're looking at, if I am Baalke and Peterson, even if I felt great about Walker Little, I'm still wanting to bring somebody else in because I'm looking at my starting left and my starting right, and those are two guys that have had significant knee injuries in their life. Yeah, and I
don't blame them.
I want a depth piece that can swing.
I get that, but you're talking about guys that have started it. They're coming here to start. Yeah, they ain't coming here for depth. Yeah, no matter what.
It's not a fourth-round draft pick.
No, these are former starters, and Fluker looks like he's committed to hopefully getting back into it and being healthy. We'll see.
He looks like he's ready to kick people out the club.
They go into wrestling if it doesn't work out. How about that merger? Did you see that? The WWE and the UFC are going to merge?
Yes, I did see that.
It's going to be valued at $21 billion, something like that. That's awesome, I guess. But you know what I mean? Going that. But so to me, I think these guys are looking at being starters. And hey, nothing wrong with competition. Nothing wrong with that at all, right? Look, competition got Jawan Taylor his job back. You know what I mean? He fought for that job last year. No one thought we didn't know what to think, but he did. He kept fighting. I'll look at him, the $60 million man. But that is, and I did see where Mekhi Sargent got let go. Jag news anyway. Running back. He's got some wiggle. He's decent out of the backfield. Hopefully he gets another shot somewhere. I don't see it.
When Dearness Johnson got signed, that was going to be basically all she wrote.
Yeah, someone's got to go when they bring somebody in like that. So I'm seeing some interesting things here in the draft. The draft's coming, obviously, and looking forward to all that. I've seen Osiris from Florida dropping into the second round and even near the 56th pick, which the Jags hold currently. I'm also seeing Darnell Washington dropping. Now, that doesn't mean anything. You never know how the draft's. The one thing about the draft, and I was not drafted again, but one thing about the draft that you don't know, when does the run start? because teams panic. They'll be like, oh, the tackle's off the board. I got to get a tackle. Then the second tackle. Then other guys are like, I got to get a tackle. Next thing you know, 4 tackles go off the board.
We see it with QBs every year.
QBs, receivers. You'll see it. Corners. I need that corner. I need that. Oh, there's only 3, 4 good safeties. Third one's gone. We got to get that 4. Those are the things. You never know when that run is going to happen. So, look, can they drop? Look, I don't know if they're sitting there. You got to think heavily about that. And I don't think they'll be there at 56. But look, I'm not a scout, and I'm not an expert when it comes to that. I'm a read and reactor. I hope they have a great draft. I'm feeling confident. Let me ask you this: If I've seen Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas, we don't need a running back. What if he's there at 24 though? What if he's there? What if there's I mean, I don't know if Quentin Johnson would get him going. Zay Flowers from what if they're there? What if Darnell Washington's there?
I'm taking the receiver.
You're taking the receiver?
Yeah.
Because you can never have enough receivers?
Yeah, and
you got enough balls for him.
And
to go around to him. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe it's a luxury pick.
Well, there's 2 things there. First, in 2023, it's just so important to throw the ball and consistently have weapons.
Yeah.
So I'm valuing that higher. And then secondly, I do believe that
You're taking Zay Flowers if he's there?
Yeah, I love Zay Flowers.
He's awesome.
Love Zay Flowers.
But I guess then you're not using Agnew then, because to me he's more of a Agnew. Listen, he doesn't get enough credit for being a good receiver. We talked about his route run 2 years ago. He was one of the best route runners on the team 2 years ago. Remember that one catch he made on the sideline? It was a perfect route, an unbelievable catch. We were like, whoa, that guy can really play wide receiver. So I shouldn't say that, but I think that Zay would take away some of his opportunities.
But you gotta remember, Tommy, that we are now spoiled with a creative offensive mind.
True.
So give me Zay on one side, give me Agnew on another, give me Ridley down the field at
Give me ETN in the backfield,
correct,
out of the backfield.
I got an OC
AC out of the backfield.
I got me an OC now.
Okay,
and I got me a play caller that I think can cook some stuff up for those guys. So I would love Zay.
Here's a thought: what if Fleming and Fluker, or one of them, is more? Hey, you know what? We think this guy could give our right tackle a run for his money, and we like him better than we like somebody there at 24. As an offensive line.
Yeah.
So
that's and the thing about sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good, man.
The thing about the receiver room is, as much as I really like the current receiver room, I really like who they got.
I do too. Yeah.
But we kind of all see this. The teams that are like winning Super Bowls and stuff with these elite quarterbacks, they have some homegrown talent at receiver.
Yeah.
I don't think you can't free agency your receiver room for forever.
No.
At some point, you're going to need some homegrown talent there.
Yeah.
Somebody that, while Trevor's still young, somebody that Trevor can kind of grow with.
Yeah. And
really develop, like a Jamar Chase kind of guy for Joe Burrow. Obviously, that's the perfect scenario.
No,
but
it is.
But
you need, I mean, look, you could. I think Lamar Jackson, would make a case like, look, you've taken my weapons away from me.
Right.
My big time weapons. And I'm having to deal with that. And even the GM came out and said something to that regard. Like, we haven't developed our receiver. Remember the one receiver got all ticked off? I think it was Rashad Bateman got all pissed off that the GM said, well, we don't really have, we haven't really developed our receivers.
Right.
And he's sitting there like, hello.
Right.
I'm over here. I'm still in the room.
Right.
But there could be something like that. I noticed where Jalen Carter, who's, Bear fans who I know watch on Facebook, man, gosh, how about his agent's Rosenhaus? He's saying, we're only visiting top 10 teams. We're not going to visit anybody out of the top 10. What if someone trades up into the top 10? You said a no to their visit. They may be like, nah, I'm not taking that kid.
I mean, I just being a guy who roots for Georgia's biggest rival, and sees how insanely good that dude is.
Yeah,
he could spit in my GM's face, and I might still take him. I got to say,
you think he's going to be that dominant at the next level?
Oh, I think he's going to
see it to believe it. But hey, man, I hope he is. Whoever gets him,
I think there's an Ndamukong Suh type of guy potential there.
Oh, well, that's, if he's the Ndamukong Suh, if I said that correct, Suh is unbelievable, minus the stomping of, hands and heads.
Right.
That. Although, remember Big Al Hainsworth that did the skate across the guy's face with his cleat? You remember that? He was a beast.
Of course.
Man, he was fantastic. All right, throw this out there before we finish. We'll not wrap, but we'll get into the women's tournament. I got to talk about that. It bothered me earlier, but I don't want to get into it yet. Just think about this: Houston's number 2, Indy's number 4, Tennessee's at number 11, all in the AFC South. Grim, there's rumors going around that Tennessee may look to jump up and grab a QB. It's a copycat league. Look what Trevor has done for our organization. You know that Houston, Indy, and who am I missing?
Tennessee.
Thank you. They're thinking the same thing. Hey, we get one of these quarterbacks. They could turn us around in a year or two. Maybe we're loaded enough to carry him the first year, and then by the second year, you know they're thinking that. So who would you rather have? Let's just take forget Indy moving up. Because right now, the only sure thing is Houston and the Colts at 2 and 4.
Yeah.
So we're going to face them twice a year.
You mean forget Tennessee moving up?
Forget Tennessee moving up.
Okay.
We got 2 and 4 sitting there.
Yeah.
Which quarterback duo would you prefer the Jags go? I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me because I'm looking at my defense to be a badass defense this year and getting after people. And I don't give a crap who the quarterback is.
But you're asking
especially if they're a rookie. It doesn't mean that much to me.
You're asking me who am I least threatened by?
Yeah,
basically?
so is it Bryce and Richardson? Is it Levis?
Levis and Richardson.
I
think Stroud and Bryce Young.
They're solid.
I think they're a significant step up from the other two.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
I like them a lot. Well, I saw Richardson at number 1 again on another. I just don't see it at Carolina. That's a risky ass move.
Yes, very risky.
Man,
the best thing for
like
Ant,
him, but not that much.
The best thing for Ant would be if he could go to the Lions or the Seahawks because he could sit for a while.
Sit behind Goff and or
under Geno. Under two guys that have shown recently that they're really good leaders and they can be good mentors.
Yeah, and they're not going to be hassled by.
Correct. Both of those organizations have good coaching, good structure. He can go be himself, learn the NFL.
Yep.
Almost, he could probably take 2 years if he needed to in those two places.
Yeah.
Because Geno and Jared Goff, it's not like they're ancient.
No,
it's not
like they got time. I like Goff. I think Detroit. I've said that before. Detroit's going to be interesting.
I just think Anthony needs to be able to get into the NFL and take a breath.
Yeah,
and if he goes to Carolina,
if you got to force him to play, probably not the best situation.
It would
the
be a disaster.
Definitely. Levis is a wild card. We'll see about him. I've seen him at Indy too, and I'm telling you, this the kid from Tennessee. I only watch him I liked him a lot.
Hendon Hooker.
He's going to, I don't know where he ends up, but you're going to get a ball player. That kid can play the game. I think did I watch him head to head against Bama? Was that before right? And he went head to head. He was pretty phenomenal.
Bryce and Hooker had ridiculous games.
Stats, yeah, they did.
Ridiculous games.
And I've seen him another time or two where he was getting whacked a little bit and still making plays. Him and Young are very similar to me in the way they play the game. And the way they throw it. Even more so. They kind of throw it very similarly.
I just love Bryce's just like feel.
Yeah.
I just think.
We'll see if the feel works in the NFL.
I know the size and everything. I get all that.
It's not even that. I'm more worried about the arm than anything else. I don't care how tall you are. If you got a rocket, it don't matter. Doesn't matter. And if you can move, it's even better. So I don't know. Whenever I hear anticipation, I'm like, It's like when your mom's trying to say, well, she's really nice. Like, not your type. You're like, Ma, she's not my type. Well, she's really nice. You know what I mean? It feels a little bit like that. But
I think CJ has the least question marks.
I agree.
So,
I like him a lot.
I personally am more of a Bryce guy. But I definitely, like, if the Panthers took CJ one over, I wouldn't be like, oh, what a stupid pick. Like, I can easily see the argument.
Yeah.
There.
I don't know. To me, he's more ready. I have less questions.
Bigger, substantially bigger. So
he is much bigger,
and he showed in the Georgia game that he can move.
How about the side? I did watch the just to go back real quick the lineup announcements, introductions last night for the championship game. I mean, you talking about 5'10", point guard, and then you guys like 6'5", 6'4", Giants coming out. Oh my gosh, you could see it
in the half court too.
Oh, it's huge.
When San Diego State got out in transition, it was fine, but in the half court, you were like, oh, my God. So.
Yeah, that was That was quite the difference. All right, let's get into this. We got to get into this Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese thing. I mean, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of it. And no disrespect to the ladies, I just didn't watch it. So when I woke up, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Was it yesterday? When did they play? Monday?
They played Sunday night.
Yeah, so Monday. I saw, of course, I go to Twitter right away for my news. So I saw all the videos, and I saw Angel Reese doing the thing. Is that a John Cena thing? I can't see you?
Yeah.
Although you can see him, but you can't. This means I can't see you. You mean nothing to me?
You can't see me.
You can't see me. Okay, whatever it means, it was displayed. So not knowing any history of leading up to that point, I was like, wow, that's kind of tacky, but no big deal, whatever. I didn't really care. Not for once did I sit there and think about her skin color. I could care less about that. It was almost like a choke or whatever. I thought, yeah, it was calling her out, whatever. So I didn't know that Caitlyn Clark was doing the same stuff to other teams. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool then that she, hey, you put it out there. You got to be able to take it. Right. And I think Caitlyn Clark, from watching the video, she took it fine. She pretended like she didn't see it and didn't say anything. That could have escalated into something. It didn't, which is good. It shouldn't. And then there's this big uproar. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm sick and tired of automatically it's a black-white situation. It's because Angel's black and Caitlyn's white, and people didn't give Caitlyn enough crap, calling her disgraceful or distasteful or unsportsmanlike, whatever, but, didn't call her that, but called Angel Reese that, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I heard Stephen A. Smith in a video, it was on his show. He tells us a lot about our society as a whole. And that is effing BS. I'm telling you right now. Look, mainstream media makes the 10% look like the 90%. Were there people out there that were probably made racial tones about that? Yes, of course there were. We're not naive to say that. But to think that our society as a whole is like that, I'm not like that. I didn't think, wow, black girl, white. No, I thought I was like, okay, they're talking trash. Who really cares? I mean, who really cares? Why does it have to be this big old thing? And I don't know who said. I know Keith Olbermann said something. I thought I read where the guy from Barstool did, but I don't know if
Portnoy.
He did.
Oh, Dave Portnoy was all over it.
That's stupid. Now, did they know leading up that Caitlyn did that? I'm assuming they did because maybe they're watching. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. I didn't see leading up to it either. But automatic. I saw all the. Why does it have to go to that? And are there people that think? Of course there are. But the majority of people do not feel that way. The majority of people are good people. The mainstream media wants to make it look like, no, we're all terrible. We all think this. Don't put me in that box. Don't you dare put me in that box. I could give two craps if they're fighting or they're talking smack. I don't really care. I wasn't a big smack talker. I wasn't creative enough. It was basically a F-bomb with a lady's body part. That's all I had. I mean, I'm just being honest. I didn't get creative. I didn't say all this stuff. I would just be like, hey, babe, that's it. I didn't have anything else. I wasn't creative enough to do it. But, if you're going to give it, you got to be able to take it. And I do think she took it fine. So it's not even about that. It's just the way we react. And all of a sudden it's that. I mean, I don't know, man. I was having breakfast with Bees, my boy Aaron Bees, we're doing some business together. We were talking about it. He's like, dude, we just need empathy. Everybody, I said, all of our emotions are the same. He's like, we all feel sadness, happiness, joy, all this stuff. It's not different. Baby born into the world, we feel joy. Someone's taken away from us that we love, we feel sorrow. It's the same. It's so ridiculous. And I know there are people out there, so don't try to throw at me like, yeah, you're naive. I know I'm not. I know that there is racism in our society, but what went on with Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark and Stephen A. Smith tells us a lot about our society as a whole. That bothers me, man. That's a crappy thing to put out there to people, because people, I know how fans are. People believe what they read. They believe what they see on TV. They believe what they hear. I saw it with the Jags. When I was playing, the reporters would say stuff. And you'd be like, man, that nobody said that, or that didn't happen. Maybe you got that from guys having a bad day, MF's the coach, and now they all hate the coach. No, that there was a lot of things like that. And I know our fans are like, no, it must be true. He's lost the locker room. I remember that one. Coughlin's lost the locker room. Everyone started believing. That's what got him fired. Got him fired. Mr. Weaver believed in the fan. The fans were like calling for his head. Right or wrong. I mean, that was the case. And it was all based on he lost the locker room. They were 6-10. Granted, like, I think 5 of those losses were by 2 points or less. It was crazy. They could have easily turned that thing around. That was after dumping it. I'm not defending them. It is what it is. I'm just saying that people believe what they hear and see, and not all of it's true. That doesn't represent America. Represents a small portion of America, or a portion. I wouldn't even say small. You can say you can put the adjective on it. A portion. Not everybody. Not me. Not anybody in my circle. I'll be sitting there. I know Graham. I'm telling you, the young people, even my younger kids, like even my youngest, they're going to change the world. They don't care about any of that stuff. They don't. And I hope it happens, because I just think like there's like this undertone lately of this. It was like when Daniel Jones got his deal and Lamar didn't. There was an undertone like, oh, how could the guy Daniel Jones? It wasn't even the same money. It was way different. Had nothing to do with anything, but there were racial undertones. Like, oh, it's because he's white and Lamar is black and he can't. And that's like, what? No, go read what's going on. I just don't think that is a healthy thing for somebody in that situation to be saying that kind of stuff. Because I don't believe that. And you want to call me that, whatever. I'll go by. I got a big circle here in Jacksonville and outside Jacksonville, but a big, not just at the beach, all throughout town. I don't see half or any of the stuff that I see on Twitter that I read. I don't. I see a caring community. I see caring people. Of course, there's issues. There's issues everywhere. But it's not prevalent like they want you to believe it is. It's not. They're very powerful. The media is very, very powerful. Mainstream media can be very powerful. There's no doubt about it. They can change people's perception and minds. I just don't think anybody, and I don't care what color Stephen A. Smith is, that means nothing to me as far as him putting that out there. That just shouldn't be out there. That does not tell society as a whole. That tells a small portion of society. And guess what? It's stupid and it's ignorant. So I had to get off I had to get that off my chest. Because I don't. Look, I'm not afraid to talk about anything. And B, I just don't think that's right. That's not that statement, nothing to do with anything, anybody that I'm a part of. So, there you have it. That'll be all right, that'll wrap it up. Thank you much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Looking forward to moving on. Yeah, moving on into the world of football as we get closer and closer to the NFL draft. More free agency maybe still ongoing, and looking forward to seeing where everybody ends up. Where are these 5 quarterbacks going to end up? It's exciting, man. You got to wonder if someone, once that 4th one goes, who's jumping to get Hooker?
2 of them are going to be in the AFC South, more than likely.
More than likely, without a doubt.
2 out of the 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to be 2 of those first 4. Hendon Hooker will probably not be one of them. By the way, if the Titans do trade up to take someone, you know where their GM went to school, their new GM?
Carthen went to Michigan, didn't he?
No.
Rand Carthen? I thought I played against him in college. Where'd he go?
University of Florida.
Oh, okay. He did. That's right.
He's a Gator.
Ooh. Was he a fullback?
Running back.
He was a running back.
I think running back.
Who am I thinking of? No, now I'm confused. All right, so he came out of Florida, yeah. Well,
if they traded up and took Anthony Richardson, I will say a Derrick Henry, Anthony Richardson backfield.
Right, and you still have Tannehill, right?
Yeah,
which would be a good situation for Anthony.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Their problem is I don't know if they have the offensive coaching staff to develop a young QB right now.
Do you know what? How wild would that be? That the AFC South has 3 brand new QBs, and they end up at some point during the season starting against our Jags. You go to Houston, you're starting. There's no doubt. Yeah. The Indy, you're most likely starting. Tennessee, you're sitting.
Trevor Lawrence at 24 years old would be the oldest quarterback in the division.
Yeah. It's a copycat
That'd be
league,
crazy.
man. You know that they're looking for that.
Oh, 100%.
Now that's the rhetoric. I need that QB. It's you know what? Shad Khan said it great. What did he say? I hit the trifecta or whatever. What did he say this past week? I got the GM.
Cracked the code.
I cracked the code. I got the GM, the coach, and the quarterback dead on right. Dead on right. All on the same page, all with the same goal, all with the same culture, everything, just all the way through. Absolutely. You don't think every other franchise wants that? They do. And the ones that are still developing, they're hoping their guy develops into a really, really good franchise QB. You know, will they? I don't know. Trey Lance. Justin Fields got a real good shot. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the next year. And you better get him some help up front. That's all I'm going to say. He's got no help up front, but he gets better every year. But he needs a little more help. Can't take off and run all that. He can, and nobody catches him. But man, you want to be careful with that.
By the way, this, as a former player, this probably goes against everything you stand for. But the best method, in my opinion, for maybe not Houston and Indy because they're already slotted so high, but Tennessee should embrace a tank for a year and go get themselves Caleb Williams or Drake May, because those two guys are way better than any of these quarterbacks, in my opinion.
Yeah, the kid out of USC.
Except maybe Stroud and Young can be in that conversation, but as prospects, in terms of ceiling, in terms of production, in terms of everything, Drake May and Caleb Williams are better than anybody in this draft.
I think,
especially Caleb Williams is a Trevor Lawrence kind of prospect.
Yeah, I think Stroud has the potential to be very, very good.
I do too.
I don't want to call him special, but I think he's got all the tools you need. He's he's a tough player. He can move when need be. He's got a great arm. He's tall enough, big enough. You want him more in the pocket than you don't, but he can roll out a little. You know, I think he's going to be. I think if I had to, now I haven't watched the kid out of Kentucky, Will Levis, is it?
Yeah, Levis.
I hear he's got a huge arm. I don't watch Kentucky football.
He does not impress me at all.
No,
I think out of those four, I think he's by far the least.
It's such a hard thing. You know, I mean, you can't just go by production in college. You got to go by what can I make this kid. You know, I mean, if you went by production, you'll use a Josh Allen example. Wasn't that great?
Correct.
His numbers were not that great in college at Wyoming, the quarterback for the Bills. You know, you had to see beyond that. You know, who do you see? What do you see? You know, you got to look beyond some, like Anthony Richardson's perfect example. You got to see beyond some things. What can I do? What can I make? What can I take from his game and make it fit into my offense? And that's all you need to do. It's not win anything. Yeah, of course you need that, but it's more like, how can I? It's like the Giants keeping Daniel Jones. He fits my offense. Dable says he's my guy. He's the guy I feel comfortable running my offense, and we're gonna ride him to a title, hopefully.
Right.
You know, so you got to find that, and when you do, you're onto something, as we've seen right here in Jacksonville with Trevor, and of course now with Doug Peterson, and now now it's on.
And Trevor,
add to the fire, baby.
Trevor was a Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, John Elway type of prospect.
Yep.
None of these guys are that in this year's draft. No. Caleb Williams is. So if I'm the Titans,
I agree.
The Titans are in kind of that weird spot, a little bit past those picks.
I would want to replace Taylor Lewan is what I would want to do if I'm the Titans.
Correct. I would draft somebody else young at another pivotal position other than QB, embrace a tank for a year.
Yep.
Get the guys off your books that you need to this year. Eat some dead money if you got to.
Yeah.
And then I'd start over next year with Caleb Williams. The problem is we've talked about this. I mean, there's no guarantee you're going to get the number one overall pick.
No. We got lucky. Well, we got lucky.
It's really hard to suck enough to get that pick.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have to try back then. We did suck. I mean, we weren't very good.
But the Jets gave us a run for our money.
Yep. No
in 2020
nothing's
for the
guaranteed.
2021
So
draft.
you got to be. I don't know. I'm not a tanker, but yeah. I mean, you know, you got to wait till the end of the season whether you start figuring out if I'm going to be okay if I lose
with a couple of games left.
You know, I get that, but I don't know. I mean, you never know. I mean, look, if Tannehill's healthy and so is Derrick Henry, and they've got replacements for Lewan, and their defense is going to be tough. They get Landry back coming off the Achilles, I think he had, the pass rusher. Of course, Simmons, one of the best that's out there, so.
They still have Kevin Byard at safety.
They'll be tough. They're always tough. They may not be, 14-3, but they'll be 9-8. They're around that.
They're a low ceiling, high floor team.
I think last year just, that was, you didn't have anything at QB once Tannehill went down.
They had a ton of injuries too.
Yeah, they did.
Because when Taylor Lewan did go out, their left tackle that played the rest of the year, Dennis Daly, is maybe the worst left tackle I've ever seen in the NFL.
He got worked quick.
Dude was
horrific. They got to upgrade that. There's no doubt about that. All right, that'll do it for us. Ran a little late this time around. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you on Facebook for hanging out. Of course, right here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. You can catch the archive show if you'd like. We'll repost it. I know Graham does a great job putting it on YouTube and other platforms. And you can also go to 1010XL.com probably later today or tomorrow if you missed any or part of the show. And you can also check it on their app as well, the 1010XL app. All right, that'll do it for me. So until next time, stay safe and be cool out there. And we'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Peace.